Hello, gamers, creators, and developers everywhere. I'd like to share with you some stories about success. Let's begin with a story about a boy who grew up loving games. They defined him. They showed him a bigger world. They gave him direction and purpose in a directionless town in the furthest reaches of the cold Northeast. And they helped him evolve from gamer to game industry veteran when he sent a fictional letter of recommendation from an orc war boss to his favorite game company in a city thousands of miles away. He had no connections and no real understanding of business. All he had was a passion for games and a belief that anything was possible. Reflecting upon that moment, I'm always amazed that something so unique and unconventional not only worked, but brought me, yes, the boy was me, before you today as president of a global game commerce company called Xsolla. This fanboy moment gave me my first lesson in what it takes to be successful in this industry, which is a passion for what you're doing and a belief that anything is possible. But mine is a simple story, and there are so many more to share, and that's what we're going to do today. While you won't hear from a fictional orc war boss, you will hear from industry peers, and hopefully you'll learn something that helps your game business succeed. Throughout this talk, we'll look at some less obvious tactics companies are using to succeed in today's market, with examples and insights you can immediately put into action. We'll also look at what's needed to succeed in the future and what we're doing to prepare for it. If you want to run a successful games business, then stick with me for today's journey through the business of games, what's working and what's needed to succeed. Before we dive into these stories, let's take a moment and thank the Game Developer Conference and the people who have worked so hard to make this year's event happen. In one form or another, GDC and its predecessors have brought game makers together for over 30 years. While the name, location, and format have changed, this annual gathering has been a constant source of knowledge and inspiration for our industry. One that's here again this year, helping multiple generations of developers find success in pursuit of their dreams. I'm also thankful to all of you in the audience for making the effort and taking the time to support this important event. Our industry is stronger when we all come together and share, creating the truest path to success. As for me, I'm Chris Hewish, lifelong gamer and game industry veteran. Grateful to be working with the talented, global, and diverse team at Xsolla, where we're democratizing the business and distribution of games and are hyper-focused on helping developers like you succeed in an ever-changing industry. The Xsolla team has empowered thousands of developers from all over the world, and it's from them that we've sourced the successful tactics and insights you'll hear today. Now, to set the stage for our success stories, we'll share some insights about our industry given to us by Newzoo. You've likely seen Newzoo's distinctively colored reports, and today you'll hear some of what they shared exclusively for this presentation. As we exit out of a challenging time, let's take a moment to reflect. Some argue COVID has temporarily slowed us down. I believe the opposite is the case. Acceleration is the key word here. Long-term trends that many of us envisioned are now suddenly at our doorstep. Changes in consumer behavior have accelerated. Changes in business dynamics have accelerated. These changes pose challenges to some, opportunities to others. I'm all for opportunities. I'm here to share what I see working. I also want to share what I believe is needed. So let's take a look at some facts. Last year, time spent on games more than doubled, surpassing 1 trillion hours. An additional 166 million people started playing games, totaling 2.8 billion gamers. Around 30 billion hours were spent on watching live game content. That's up 90%. Over 900 million hours of content were streamed, 45% more than the previous year. Viewership of top mobile esports titles grew 207%, over 300 million hours. Last year, game revenues jumped 20%, adding $28.7 billion of new business to the total market of $175 billion. Please note that this jump alone is more than what the global music industry makes. Those are some impressive facts. I've definitely spent more time playing games over the past year than ever. Let's take a look at what's changed and what's accelerated. 1. Games are the social starting point. More than ever, social features are at the center of successful games. sparking success for new game formats and smaller studios, such as Among Us and Fall Guys, and showing that games and game platforms are the place of choice to meet up, socialize, enjoy, and create. Roblox is today, of course, one of the ultimate examples. 2. The convergence of entertainment has only just begun. Many of the elements that make up a completely connected world of experiences and communities have been tested in the past year and proven successful. The live Travis Scott concert in Fortnite drew 12.3 million viewers. That's just one example. Combining traditional sports and entertainment content and formats with game business and community mechanics is where big investments are currently being made. The acceleration of convergence in entertainment has just begun, and games companies are in the best position to win from both an engagement and business perspective. 3. A more positive view of outsiders on games. Acceptance of games as a positive phenomenon and pastime has increased significantly, both by consumers, such as parents, as well as by traditional businesses outside of games. The latter sparking new opportunities for cross-market partnerships with brands and traditional IP owners. I'll get into this opportunity and what I believe is needed later in my presentation. 4. With success comes responsibility. Game companies and streamers realize the impact they can have on the communities they entertain and are putting that to work for bigger causes. Safeguarding diversity and inclusion have become one of the most important priorities in terms of consumer engagement as well as how games businesses are run. Thanks to our friends at Newzoo for providing these insights. Later in our presentation, Yoshio Osaki, President and CEO of IDG Consulting, will share some additional insights. The business of games continues to evolve at a rapid pace, and finding a path to success isn't easy. Before working at Xsolla, I spent my entire career making and publishing games, but never really thought too deeply about how to maximize the business. There was the occasional pre-order campaign, but that was the extent of looking at alternative ways to generate revenue. The reality is, I was simply doing what everyone else did and published my games directly on the biggest digital stores, with some marketing to generate awareness. This worked okay, but my eyes have been opened since joining Xsolla. We work with thousands of developers and their games, and it's amazing to see how these companies are leveraging so many different techniques to achieve greater success. I'd left a lot on the table when taking the narrow view of distribution I'd previously held. I'm seeing companies capture 30% more revenue by being more inclusive of gamers from low and middle income countries, and mobile publishers generating over 20% more revenue from their games by expanding onto the web. I want to share all of this and more in hopes of democratizing game commerce and distribution for everyone, setting you all up for the success you and your games deserve. To help us understand one of the easiest ways to increase your revenue while helping more gamers get into your game, we have this story from a player in a middle-income country, sharing what it's like to engage with their favorite game. Their story is a great reminder to think globally and shows how a little extra effort on your part can help more players enjoy your game while driving up to 30% more revenue for your business. It also provides context for the story after, explaining why one of the biggest companies in the industry came to Xsolla to capitalize on just this kind of opportunity.
Growing up as a gamer can be vastly different from country to country. Imagine getting a cash allowance as a young gamer. How would you get that cash into your Steam account? In places like Perm Russia, it's easy. You'd run to the cash kiosk. Cash kiosks are similar to ATMs, but they allow you to send payments out as well. This is what's known as a push payment, or payments initiated outside of an ecosystem, such as a game or online store like Steam. Users all over Russia insert cash, pay bills, rent, or top up accounts, pushing cash to any of the connected businesses. If Steam hadn't worked with Xsolla to take these cash kiosk push payments, then far too many passionate young gamers would have missed out on so many great games.
Cash kiosks and push payments. Who knew? Well, not only did Steam know, but Epic Games knew, and approached Xsolla to help open up their Unreal Engine store to unbanked and underserved gamers and developers worldwide. When Epic Games first came to Xsolla, they knew that a significant portion of the global game developer community couldn't make payments in the Unreal Engine store, limiting their access to a world-renowned game engine. And when they launched the global phenomenon Fortnite, they wanted every player everywhere to be able to make in-game payments guarded by the security of the #1 fraud protection system in gaming. Let's take a deeper look.
Epic Games, the powerhouse behind the highly successful Unreal Games series, Gears of War, Unreal Engine, and of course the global phenomena Fortnite, saw record-breaking transaction numbers across PC, console, and even Android. Xsolla's payment methods portfolio helps Epic Games integrate with Xsolla service providers on a region-by-region basis, greatly expanding their global reach. With the help of their Xsolla partnership, Epic Games helped ensure every player could join a squad, shield up, and make safe, secure payments. They turned the gaming industry on its head, proving success is possible outside of mainstream distribution platforms.
What do the stories of a Russian gamer and titans of our industry have to do with success? Well, these stories reveal the diverse and global nature of our business and how you can find success by thinking globally and making it easier for players to spend on your games with whatever forms of payment are available to them. Not everyone has a credit card or a big-name digital wallet. We've analyzed our commerce data and can tell you that upwards of 30% of all transactions on our platform are coming from alternative payment channels. And we're seeing a 20% increase in converting non-spenders to spenders when your game economy is priced on par with their local real-world economy and you're listing local payment options first. You could say this next story is another example of alternative payments, but with an old-school twist. The incredibly talented team at Roblox is always looking at growing their business, and they're arguably some of the best in the industry at it. Xsolla helps Roblox with a bunch of its commerce. There are many examples of how we're working together, but one in particular shows some real out-of-the-box thinking. Roblox uses gift cards, an often overlooked product, to perfection, increasing their average revenue per paying user by 35%.
In early 2020, the Roblox Corporation sought a partner who could help them build a player-focused gaming gift card program to deliver Robux for their runaway hit Roblox. The idea was to increase spending per minute while generating brand loyalty and engagement. Xsolla integrated a payment gateway for trusted gift card issuer Blackhawk Network on Demand into the Roblox in-game store. The program's early success drove expanded reach, bringing in additional partners to form a robust network and broad distribution. This, in turn, led to organic, effective placements in the spaces where Roblox players live, shop, and play, including digital and physical retail locations. Xsolla's integration quickly grew this initial gift card program into a staple product with a healthy and dependable revenue stream, lifting the average revenue per paying user, ARPU, by 35%, from $13 to $20, while also boosting brand affinity and user loyalty. 1 year later, the Roblox gift card program is still going strong and shows no signs of slowing down.
A 35% boost to ARPU. If that doesn't get your attention, then I don't know what will. The gaming industry is growing like never before, but where there's success, fraudsters aren't far behind. Fraudsters can mess with your game economy and create misleading data points. We looked deep into the darkest corners of the web and found one such fraudster.
Talking about fraud may not be the most exciting or creative topic to you, but I'm lurking in the shadows and always looking at ways to defraud your business. Over the past year, I've been busier than ever, more than doubling my fraud attempts against your games. And I'm doing it twice as much as your average legitimate gamer. I'm absolutely loving the fact that there are so many new gamers. These new players easily fall victim to my phishing scams, fake surveys, and even fake discounts sold on your forums and social network pages. Ignore me and my scams at your own risk.
Well, that was disturbing. Fortunately, there are some simple things you can do to safeguard against fraud. You can apply additional checks and verifications to your players' most expensive purchases. You can keep a close watch on your game's forums or other online hubs. And you can regularly educate your community about the dangers of phishing schemes and making purchases from non-sanctioned third-party sites. A little education goes a long way towards preventing fraud. So take a minute and educate your community. Our next example is a quick trip beyond the skies and into space, where crews of players like you try to identify and eliminate the imposters among us. Many teams would have just sat back and enjoyed the success they were already having. Yet being the forward-looking crew that they are, the team at Innersloth realized that more success was out there. This journey saw the incredible Innersloth team looking for a simple way to build upon their success while offering some special packages for groups of friends to crew up. Xsolla was able to create a commerce-enabled site for Among Us, offering players a variety of packages for building crews of all sizes, purchased directly from Innersloth. This is one of the easiest things you can do for your games business. It monetizes your website where you can drive more traffic and capture more revenue, all while controlling your data and building a direct relationship with your most engaged players. Okay, we've heard a few stories about generating more revenue and selling directly to your players. But players need to know about your game before you can sell anything to them. No players, no sales. Discovery is a huge issue and something most games struggle with regardless of platform or where they are in their life cycle. Not only do you need to spend on traditional marketing and advertising, you now have to effectively engage with influencers if you want to increase your chances of success. Yet it seems like only big games with bigger marketing budgets can afford to work with influencers. And even if you can work with them, it's hard to do it globally and at scale, even for the big games. This is exactly the issue NovaQuark faced when generating awareness for their game, Dual Universe, a persistent single-server universe built and driven entirely by players. Let's hear how they turned this problem into a success.
Hi, we are NovaQuark. I'm Sebastian Bisch. I'm the general manager of our Montreal studio and publishing here at NovaQuark.
And my name is Bilal Sanchez, the social media director at NovaQuark.
So we are the creators of a video game called Dual Universe. It's an MMO, and we launched the beta last year in August 2020. Before that, the game was under strict NDA, so we did not have any content creators. We did not have any streamers on the game, and we just opened the floodgates when we launched the beta. And it was really important for us to put Dual Universe on the map for content creators. So Bilal, you're actually an ex-content creator. You used to be in the Minecraft scene, and you've been able to see firsthand what it is to be on, one side and the other side, the publisher
Both
and
ends
the
of
content
spectrum.
creator. Exactly.
Yeah. So having once been a creator myself, like Seb said, I've been on both ends of the spectrum. I know what a creator is expecting from a video game standpoint, from a support standpoint, from a community standpoint, and how them playing a game, if the streamer necessarily isn't as big, they do like to get rewarded somehow for creating content. And that is where this DU affiliate campaign comes in. Xsolla has made it very easy for creators to sign up. They have a white label dashboard where creators can sign in with their YouTube channel, their Twitch channel, or their Twitter credentials. And once that's done, it's frictionless. They can sign in. Xsolla automatically puts them in the tier of affiliates that they need to be, depending on their size, and they get paid accordingly. Our account manager at Xsolla made things very easy, not to mention that we already use Xsolla for our back-end sales. So having that entire onboarding process was made very easy by our account manager, Maria, from Xsolla, and things went very smoothly.
We thought the program was pretty successful. Actually, we have had a lot of signups. I think it really helped us get our streamer influencer campaign really up and running as fast as possible.
We managed to sign over 300 creators, and we think that, especially as us being more in a beta stage development of our game, come the full launch, I think this campaign and this network of creators that we've been building over the last year is going to become very beneficial, and it's going to serve as a catalyst to how we continue working with creators and building affiliate campaigns and things of that nature.
So in the end, we were pretty happy that we chose to build our affiliate campaign with Xsolla Partner Network. It worked out pretty well for us, and we will definitely continue to use it for the launch of the game and for our future campaigns.
Definitely, yeah, and couldn't be more excited.
Another great way to set your game up for success is by getting a community of players engaged before the game even launches. We're all familiar with running public alpha and beta tests before your game launches and how this can help you build a better game. But many developers miss the opportunity to leverage these tests and monetize their game pre-launch. This next story shows how one of the biggest games on the planet used pre-orders to capitalize on the success of their early access beta.
When Krafton put PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds into an early access beta, they wanted more pre-order options for players looking to lock and load. Krafton had already capitalized on massive worldwide interest in PUBG on mainstream platforms and sparking the global battle royale craze that continues to dominate the industry today. But those platforms didn't deliver enough for pre-orders, and when it came to safety and security, Krafton's pre-order payments partner would need top-shelf fraud protection. With the help of their Xsolla partnership, PUBG has set numerous global records for game sales, earnings, and concurrent players. Xsolla's easy-to-integrate pre-order solution helped fill PUBG's dusty town with sharpshooters from all around the world. By integrating with Xsolla, Krafton was able to offer multiple pre-order packages to an even larger global footprint, and it only took 5 to 10 minutes to complete. A single day of coordination work with Xsolla's team gave PUBG a far broader reach, one that went beyond mainstream digital distribution platforms to include unbanked and underserved players around the world. Plus, after PUBG was officially released worldwide for PC, they continued to benefit from their Xsolla integration when they released their mobile SKU on Android. PUBG has literally changed the game across multiple genres, redefined the appeal and execution of battle royale gaming, and secured a place in gaming history. And by working with Xsolla, they've helped to ensure that every player around the world who wants to be a winner can take aim at getting that chicken dinner.
Winner, winner, chicken dinner indeed. Oh, come on, like you wouldn't have said it too? All right, on a more serious note, you've been hearing how Xsolla helps companies expand upon already successful businesses, such as Innersloth, Epic, and Roblox, or how we've helped others get their businesses going pre-launch, like NovaQuark and Krafton. But what you might not know is that we also help companies facing serious existential threats to their businesses, who need solutions for all of their game commerce. I'm talking about the kinds of problems that have nothing to do with your game, but everything to do with the platform your game is on. One such story focuses on Valve, who were forced to pivot in a big way when Adobe's Flash platform was finally shut down. Valve had a strong, active game called Imperium Galactic War, which was about to go dark due to its platform vanishing, forcing an early end to this interstellar tale for the developer and their players. Fortunately, they came to Xsolla for help. Here's their story.
Valve Games partners with Xsolla to build custom launcher for massively multiplayer Flash-based Imperium Galactic War. With the shutdown of Adobe's Flash platform, Valve Games faced the reality of abandoning tens of thousands of players in their massively multiplayer strategy title Imperium Galactic War. While the process of migrating a Flash-only game to HTML5 or Unity can be expensive and time-consuming, Valve found that by utilizing Xsolla Launcher, they could publish a standalone version of IGW and incorporate new features at the same time. By partnering with Xsolla, Valve created a brand new launcher dubbed the Valve Dragon Launcher, a hub and community tool providing news, special offers, and even promoting other games, all without the need for a browser. What's even better is that this same process can be applied to other Flash-based games, many of which now face extinction. As Valve Games CCO Mikolai Martzi said, "We are talking about over 250,000 games that cannot be accessed by the wider player community. Many of them are now abandoned by their creators and will likely never be ported to something like Unity 3D. Source codes being lost, studios disbanded, those games will never be ported, and the internet community will suffer the loss." By working together with Xsolla, Valve streamlined the user experience for Imperium Galactic War by launching a brand new customized installer.
I'm proud for what we were able to do with the team at Valve. Their grit and determination is an inspiration to us all, and the team at Xsolla is grateful for the opportunity to help keep this great game alive. We've been sharing a lot of commerce and distribution-related stories, but as the past year showed us, there's more to being successful in games than simply generating more revenue. One of my favorite parts of working in this industry is the people. My best friendships have been formed working alongside others who share my passion for games, and there's nothing like the sense of camaraderie that comes from working together on a game. At Xsolla, we want to foster these connections and have built a set of communities to help. Gamer and podcaster Guy Blomberg is up next to talk more about this. And he's got a little something up his sleeve that you just might find entertaining.
Well, hi there. My name is Guy Blomberg, also known as Yug. I'm the program director for Xsolla, and I want you to think of a number between 1 and 10. Yeah, that's right. Think of any number between 1 and 10. Try not to use one with a decimal point. It's going to confuse you more than me. But think of a number. You got it? You got that number? Okay, now I want you to double that number. Just double that number. This should be pretty straightforward. That's going to give you a new number in your head. You got that? Yep. Okay, now I want you to add 10 to that number. Just add 10 to it. I know maths, it could be very early in the morning where you are, and I'm sorry, but trust me, it'll be worth it. Just add 10 to that number. Gives you a new number. Yes? Got it? Excellent. Okay, now I want you to halve that number in your head. Just divide it by 2. It could be a bit tricky, but I believe in you. Come on, you can do it. Halve that number, it'll give you a new number. Okay? Now here's the very last part of this. I want you to subtract from the number in your head the original number you were thinking of. So the number in your head minus the original number you were thinking of should give you a new number, should give you, if this worked, the number 5. You're all thinking of 5, hopefully. But see, that feeling right there, connecting with each other, sharing an experience, that's what I've missed the most during this pandemic. You know, I mean, come on, it's the main reason that we're all so keen to get back to physical events, because God knows it isn't the quality of the convention food, right? But here we are, though, still virtual. And what's been heartening is seeing how people in our industry have still come together in different ways, whether that be visiting each other's Animal Crossing islands, arguing about crypto and Clubhouse, or hosting digital networking in Discord and Zoom gig. But the good folks at Xsolla have spun up the Diamond Club, and this captures the community vibe, the ability to pull people together in a comfortable and social way where you can connect with your peers that you already know, as well as those that you haven't met yet. Not a passive, just watch a video experience, but a social come-together scenario, and it's free. So we've been building this up over the last 6 months, vetting members, joining, hosting meetups, roundtables, and frankly, just social hangouts, and we're growing. So we've got more specific clubs to be launched soon, and exclusive physical events in the works as well. See, I believe that the best part of our industry is the friendships and the relationships that we build. So don't forget that. And hopefully, I'll see you at one of our parties. Cheers.
Thanks, Guy. Entertaining and informative as always. Another successful mobile trend we're seeing relates to digital distribution, specifically around super apps and push payments. These are mobile versions of what we heard about earlier, when a player shared their experience pushing payments through cash kiosks in Russia. Now imagine doing something similar through an app on your phone. People all over the world are increasingly using their banking and social apps to pay for everything from food to entertainment. These digital wallets and social platforms are evolving into one-stop shops called super apps, and they've begun playing with games. Here's an example.
Zoe is a huge Fortnite player on PC. Zoe's traveling away from her gaming machine and using her social media super app to keep in touch with her family when she sees an ad for a discounted V-Bucks package. She selects the V-Bucks package, enters her Fortnite in-game account ID, and confirms payment using the payment method associated with her super app. The V-Bucks package is added to her Fortnite account and waiting for her when she's back home from her trip.
Think about it. Zoe was able to buy V-Bucks without leaving her social media app or having to load up her game. Using super apps to pay for everything, including games, is rapidly gaining in popularity and represents a whole new way for players to discover and spend on your game. You should be on the lookout for ways to get your game connected to these super apps. Let's take a minute and talk about one of the most impactful things you can do for your games business, which combines everything we've discussed and sets you up for maximum success. I'm talking about creating a digital distribution hub for your games, your own platform, where you have complete control over your games business. Steam, Epic Games Store, the app stores, they're all examples of digital distribution platforms. They're amazing, and you should always be looking at them for distributing your games. But you're missing out on your full potential if that's all you do. Having a self-owned platform in addition to a presence on third-party platforms means you get the best of both worlds. It's an extension of your team, allowing you to leverage the full potential of player engagement, data, analytics, brand loyalty, word-of-mouth marketing, and more. Even if your favorite platform shuts down or removes features, like what happened with Flash and our friends at Vavel, or what's happening with advertising on the app stores, you'll still be in control of your business. With your own digital distribution platform, you can create, edit, and manage everything. You can offer pre-order packages, custom add-ons, merchandise, and more, all in one unified dashboard you can set up in minutes. Xsolla can help with all of this and more. We even handle the back office stuff like currency conversion, taxes, and fraud prevention. Our data shows that up to 40% of a game's revenue comes from just 8% of a site's visitors. This is the kind of information you need to know and be in control of, and you can by running your own digital distribution platform. Now, let's hear from Yoshio Osaki at IDG Consulting, who will share his perspective on the industry and some trends he's tracking with his clients.
My name is Yoshio Osaki, and I'm the president and CEO of IDG. It's a pleasure to be on the stage with our wonderful partner, Xsolla. As a leading analyst and research firm in gaming, we wanted to walk you guys through some key highlights and trends that are driving our business forward. Gaming has never been healthier than it is today. It grew 23% last year, year over year, to $225 billion, and it's going to hit $250 billion this year and should exceed $300 billion by 2025. It's now overtaken music and movies combined and is on track to overtake TV sometime in the next 2 to 3 years. Gaming is also becoming more mainstream because the democratization of the player base is real. We're now seeing more women playing than ever before, especially on mobile games like Candy Crush, but also kids, tweens getting more active with Minecraft and Roblox, and a lot of other big games like Rocket League and League of Legends becoming more mainstream beyond just core gamers, but to mid-core and in some cases casual gamers as well. What's working to drive that success? There are a few key areas. One is cross-platform play. We're seeing some leaders such as Genshin Impact, Call of Duty, and many others leading the way in this area. And the metaverse. When we look at the metaverse with non-gaming activities and events in these game virtual worlds, that's becoming a more important ingredient, with Travis Scott, for example, fetching 25 million peak concurrent users in a Fortnite concert series. And we're also going to see more M&A consolidation and investment in games, whether it be IPOs like Roblox, Unity, and AppLovin, early stage VC investments with billion-dollar plus valuations like Rec Room and Forte, and more publisher strategic M&A from consolidators like Tencent and Embracer. To wrap up and summarize, the market continues to grow and expand, but it's also never been more complicated and more difficult to navigate all the different cross-currents within our industry. And from that perspective, it's incumbent upon game developers to find the right B2B partners to help fill in those key gaps, whether it's AWS or Microsoft Azure for cloud backend, or Xsolla when it comes to payment processing, so that these game developers can continue to focus on what they do best, which is to create amazing content that will move our business forward in the next 5 to 10 years. Thank you so much for your time.
As you just heard from Yoshio, esports is a trend that continues to provide opportunities for growth. We've seen this trend as well, and our integration team worked with leading competitive gaming platform Faceit, where we used subscriptions and virtual currency to drive over 1,250% growth on their platform in a relatively short period of time.
Faceit delivers even more competitive esports action by partnering with Xsolla. Faceit was already benefiting from a massive uptick in competitive gaming, but to fully tap into the trend on a global scale, they needed more payment methods than just PayPal. And as their subscriber numbers swelled, they needed a partner who could deliver more payment options while protecting their system from fraud. After their initial Xsolla integration, Faceit had drastically expanded their global payments footprint, but they had many more plans in store for subscriptions. The combined 8-person team worked diligently for 6 weeks to make Faceit subscription plan offerings among the most robust of any Xsolla partner at the time. The team added a virtual currency option, Faceit Points, and other custom-designed deliverables to drive user loyalty while solidifying Faceit's already growing brand equity. During the first few years of our integration, Faceit's website traffic exploded, jumping by 1,250%. With so many more payment methods and subscription options available to users around the world, Faceit was finally able to achieve its true potential, becoming one of the preeminent global destinations for organizers, participants, and fans of esports and competitive gaming.
Faceit is a great example of a company that runs its own platform, allowing them to keep their users happy and engaged. If skill-based gaming or esports is your thing, then we've got the solution for you. We've just heard some great stories and examples of what's working for developers like you and how they're making their games businesses more successful. Now it's time to take a quick look at what's needed to keep finding success as our industry continues to grow and evolve. As the great philosopher Lou Holtz once said, "In this world, you're either growing or you're dying. So get in motion and grow." With these words of wisdom in mind, we did our research and identified some things that can help you extend your success into the future. While we've all heard the stories of big investments into video games, it's still difficult for most developers to find and connect with investors. Enter our latest innovation, Xsolla Game Investment Platform. Industry veteran and all-around great human, Justin Berenbaum, is joining us to share more about this amazing new path to success.
Thanks, Chris. Great to be here. There's a new way for developers to connect with investors. Introducing Xsolla Game Investment Platform, our new funding ecosystem where individuals can browse a robust portfolio of pre-selected games to make co-investments with preset terms. Rather than putting your game in front of just publishers and individual lead investors, Xsolla Game Investment Platform opens up your game's potential investor pool to numerous qualified co-investors. This accomplishes two things. It increases your chances of raising funds to complete and bring your game to market, and it helps lower investors' risks by giving them the opportunity to invest across a portfolio consisting of multiple games and projects, all vetted by our team of industry experts. Our goal is to help match quality games with accredited investors on a single convenient platform. With Xsolla Game Investment Platform, we hope to provide both developers and investors with the resources they need to join forces so more great games can get made and played.
Thanks, Justin. As always, appreciate you and what you bring to this industry. This is an important topic you opened up, so let's spend another minute on game finance. As the great British writer Joseph Conrad once said, "The world of finance is a mysterious world." This couldn't be more true for game developers everywhere. Our team has heard from many of you just how difficult it is to find funding or partners to support your next stage of growth, even when we know there's more money than ever flowing into games. Xsolla Funding Club, Xsolla Accelerator, and Xsolla Exit Strategies help create bridges connecting developers and investors to get your games funded, accelerate your game's development, and even help with the right exit strategy when the time is right. The more great games in the world, the better. And with Xsolla, there's no reason the mysterious world of finance should stand in your way. While developers need help funding, launching, and distributing their games to markets worldwide, there's also a need for products that help players navigate and get support for their games. Babka is one such product. It's Xsolla's first consumer-facing initiative with multiple touchpoints targeting gamers. With Babka, we help gamers simplify and take control of their gaming lives through entertaining moments of engagement. It's a concept consisting of multiple features and visually represented by a mystical grandmotherly shapeshifter. When launched, Babka can be accessed as a website, service, API, or in-game character. Babka is the culmination of years of experience Xsolla has built in the gaming industry. Combined with Xsolla's commitment to quality, customer service, and simplification, Babka helps players find, purchase, and engage with your games. Babka is there to lend a helping hand. There's a real desire amongst your players for game-related merchandise, apparel, collector's editions, and other physical goods related to your game. Just picture it, a hoodie or collectible character based on your game in the hands of your most dedicated players. Fortunately, you won't have to wait long, as Xsolla Physical Goods is launching later this year, enabling game developers and publishers to market, sell, manage, process, and return just about anything in physical form. So, start thinking about what merchandise your players might like, and we'll be here to help you get it into their hands. At Xsolla, our mission is to democratize the games industry. With Xsolla Connect, we're empowering all developers so they can discover, access, and create partnerships with game developers and IP holders, talent agencies, and other business resources typically reserved for the biggest of companies. Think of it as speed dating for your gaming business. We'll help you make connections quickly and build relationships that last. In our initial rollout of Xsolla Connect, we'll have exciting intellectual properties available for you to connect with And over the next year, we will be busy creating an entire ecosystem of business partners and services to help take your project to the next level. All right, that about wraps it up. But before we go our separate ways, please take a moment to recognize the unique and positive role our industry plays in people's lives. As developers and game industry professionals, your work brings much needed connections and joy to people from every walk of life and every part of the world. People don't think of games as something that changes the world. And it might be hard to see when you're heads down on the next task or ticket, but take pride in knowing that the work you're doing is improving the lives of people every day. In a very real sense, you're bringing the world together and making people happy. It's truly a privilege for me to work in the games industry alongside such talented people as yourselves. I thank you as individuals and as a community for making so many great games and entertaining people all over the world. Thank you, and for more great insights, check out our other GDC 2021 presentations on mobile and digital distribution, Xsolla Game Investment Platform, Xsolla Connect, and 80 Level.